How do great products get made? I mean, really, how do they go from just an idea to something you can't live without? Is it all about having a perfect detailed plan from day one? Or is it, well, a little more messy? It's one of the biggest questions in the business world. And today, we're going to dive into the two very different playbooks that try to answer it.
So yeah, how are they actually built? It seems like a simple question, but the answer has literally split industries and defined whole eras of innovation. As you're about to see, there are two completely different philosophies for turning an idea into reality, and getting a handle on them is key to understanding how the modern world works.
And this really gets to the heart of it. On one hand, you've got the old way, a fixed blueprint. Everything is planned out down to the last detail before you even start. And on the other hand, there's the new way, an adaptive journey. It's more like a flexible playbook that changes and evolves as you go. One tries to predict the future, and the other is built to react to it. So, let's start with the classic approach. The old guard. This is the one that built empires and huge industries for decades. We're talking about the world of traditional development, where the blueprint is king, and every single detail has to be mapped out before anyone writes a line of code or turns a single screw.
And the perfect symbol for this whole way of thinking is the waterfall model. I mean, the name says it all, right? Progress flows in one direction only, downwards. You have to finish one phase completely, get it signed off and perfect, and only then can you move on to the next. There is absolutely no going back up the waterfall.
And you can see that one-way street right here. First, you gather every single requirement you can possibly think of. Then, you create a complete, exhaustive design. After that, and only after that, do you actually build the thing, test it, and deploy it. Each step is a totally separate, locked-in phase. This approach was used for massive, mission-critical projects, like building the original software for the space shuttle, where you had to know every single detail up front.
But what happens when that perfect, super rigid plan smacks into the messy, unpredictable real world? Well, this is where that beautiful blueprint can start to show some serious cracks.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, this is ancient history, who does this anymore? Well, not so fast. A study from the Project Management Institute back in 2017 found that 51%, over half, of organizations were still using the waterfall model. So its challenges are very, very real, even today.
And those challenges are huge. First, let's talk cost. When you don't find a problem until you get way down the road to the testing phase, fixing it can be insanely expensive. Second, flexibility. The world changes, right? But a waterfall plan? It doesn't. And maybe the biggest problem of all is that the customer is barely involved until the very end. You could literally spend years building something only to find out it's not what people actually want. So, in response to all of these problems, a totally new philosophy started to take shape. It wasn't just one single method, but a whole new playbook, one designed for a world that's always changing, a playbook for a much more flexible future.
And right at the heart of this new playbook, you'll find this powerful trio: lean, agile, and design thinking. You can almost think of them like a superhero team, where each one brings its own unique power to the table to help create amazing products.
And here's what they're all about. Design thinking puts human needs right at the center of everything, making sure you're solving a real problem for a real person. Lean is absolutely obsessed with eliminating waste. That means getting rid of any effort that doesn't create value for the customer. And Agile is all about iterative progress, making small, rapid steps and then adapting based on what you learn. When you put them all together, you make sure you're building the right thing, building it efficiently, and building it flexibly.
Let's just zoom in on Agile for a second, because it's so much more than just a process. It's a complete mindset shift. It's all about collaboration, delivering value in small chunks, and constantly learning as you go. It really is an evolutionary way of thinking for any company. So what does that mindset look like in the real world? Well, here's a super popular Agile framework called Scrum. And just look at how different this cycle is from that straight line of waterfall we saw earlier. You start with a big list of tasks. Then you plan a short sprint, maybe a week or two, to get a few of them done. You develop and test within that short sprint. Then you review what you did, and you repeat the whole loop. It's a system that's literally built for change, and it's famously used by companies like Spotify to constantly evolve their product. Okay, so we have these two playbooks, the rigid blueprint and the adaptive journey. But how do they actually get used out there in the real world? Let's take a look at two different arenas: building products for other businesses versus building them for regular consumers. First, just a quick definition so we're all on the same page. B2B, that's business to business. It's when one company sells its products or services to another company.
Think about a software company selling tools to a sales team. B2C is business to consumer. That's when a company sells directly to people like you and me.
This table really shows just how different things are in these two worlds. In B2B, you often see a kind of hybrid approach. They'll mix some of those old structured processes with new agile methods. But in the super fast-moving B2C world, it's pretty much all agile, with that mantra to fail fast and learn quickly. And the customer needs? Totally different. B2B is about rational, data-driven decisions that save a company money. B2C is often all about emotion, identity, and lifestyle.
So if we pull all the way back, the core lesson here is just a massive philosophical shift. We've moved from a world that honestly believed you could predict the future with a perfect blueprint to a world that knows you can't. And in this new world, the only way to win is to be incredibly good at adapting.
And this right here, this might be the most crucial practical difference of all. Traditional models fix the scope, the what, and then they let the time and cost float. Modern models completely flip that on its head. They fix the time, say a 2-week sprint, and then they see how much scope, how much what they can get done. It's a fundamental change in what you decide is fixed versus what you allow to be flexible.
Which leaves us with one final big thought. In a world that seems to change faster and faster every single day, what's more valuable? A detailed plan for a future that might not even happen, or a flexible playbook that helps you win no matter what the future throws at you?